Hey everybody, this is Pop's Reviews, and I'm back again with another special video here. And this one is, as you can see, it's a review on the Pandora's Box Acrylic two-player Bartop arcade. So this was actually something I got a couple years ago, and so I've played it for a little while, and I kind of thought, I would do a review on it, just so people get a sense of like what the acrylic bar top is like if you ever wanted to purchase this. It's something that it's good. It has some good things about it, and then there's some small minor things that are maybe negative, but not anything really that would maybe put you off from buying it necessarily. So let me just fire this up here, and so you can see what it is now. Before I fire it up, it's a two-player arcade stick to dual screen. So as you can see, here's the first player, and it's represented on the red side. And you see the 1P, and you have your start, pause button, and then you have your control stick, and then your 6 buttons. And then the other side is the two-player. So as you can see, it says two-player on there. And the same setup with the control stick, 6 buttons, to start and pause button, and then you have your blue side, two-player Pandora's box. On the first player is the red side. So now let me just show you here. This is where you find the control panel for it. So you have your power on and off. It'll be simply just turning the switch here, and then you have your plug-in. Which runs to this cord here. So you have your plug-in, then you have your HDMI, which you could hook up to your HDMI TV or I guess computer screen, monitor screen, so you can play it through there as well. Then you have a headphone jack. There's also a toggle switch to access this slot here is a toggle switch to access the menus for the Pandora's box. And then you have a USB. You have two USB ports, which you can actually play. There are USB controllers that you could also purchase if you wanted to. So you could have 3 to 4 players playing a game. So if you're interested in that, I don't actually have the two-player controllers to add to this, but I heard it. They look like kind of like PS2 or PS3 controllers kind of thing, but they're kind of maybe a little more cheaply made, I guess you would say. But yeah, it was something that didn't really interest me. I mean, something I could always get if I wanted to in the future. But this is you're buying this basically more for for the dual player screen and to just kind of play on its own. Not really. I mean, you can always hook it up to your TV if you wanted to, but it's just mainly more, I think, for the two-player bar top kind of experience kind of thing. So, and then actually the box that it came in comes in this box that came nicely packed and stuff. So there's no issues when it ships. It actually I purchased this from AliExpress, so the Pandora's box store. The official Pandora store. Now, there's different sellers on AliExpress that sell these kind of things, so you could just look through AliExpress, type in official Pandora box store, and then you'll see there's all these different Pandora's boxes. So let me just fire this up here so you can see. Now you simply just turn the dial, and the dial actually is also your volume adjuster as well. So that's actually one of the problems here I'll talk about in a sec. So you see it starts up, Dream Never Ends. And the marquee for it actually lights up where it goes different colors. So it has a LED strip in there. And here you can see, here it is. So this is the Pandora Box 9D version. At the time when I was going to purchase this, I was going to get the Pandora Box 6 because I actually had it on the arcade stick, and I really liked the Pandora Box 6 at the time. This was probably about 2 years ago, and So but when I was purchasing this, they actually said, did I want to switch to the Pandora Box 9D system, and they were upgrading it for free. So I was like, okay, well, I guess so. Let's do it, because I already had the Pandora's Box 6 already in the arcade stick form. So I thought, why not go to 9D? And here you can see here, now you can see there's different games. The stars indicate beside, like you'll see the star and then you'll see the name of the game. The star indicates that that's a favorite. So my little girl, she likes playing a lot of these games, and it's a little harder to find on this system. They're not in any alphabetical order, or you can't do a type of search for the games that you want. So they just go in a what do you call it? More like the genre. So you could, there's the fighting genre, then there's the action genre, then there's the puzzles, the shooting games. So it kind of goes in that. And then they have some of the extra games on here that we'll talk about in a sec. So the same type of format as the Pandora's Box 6 in a sense. So here you see you're starting off with the King of Fighters games. And then you can move the controller left and right, and that accesses a full page of games. So if you didn't want to keep going, if you didn't want to scroll down going by up and down, you could just go left or right, and that brings up a new page of games here. And the system, they say, if we look at so they say there's like 2,500 games on here. You're going to get a lot of duplicates in the games in that. So you're not getting the 2,500 really advertised. You're probably getting more, probably roughly, I would say, maybe 100 less, or, somewhere around that area. So you're probably getting maybe 2,400 games, something like that, in that area. So... And then with this version of the 9D, you can see there's like a 4P. So you see Knights of Valor Heroes, version 102 or whatever that is. And then you see a 4P. So this tells you that you could actually play a 4-player game on here. So if you have the other controllers, you could play 4 players on here and these particular games. So you can see some of these other ones here. They got the 4Ps beside them. And these games are at the bottom of the list here for the 4 players, Alien vs Predator 3 players. So they tell you which games you could have the additional USB controller to play with the games here. And there's quite a few of them. So, and then like I said, there's some repeats. Some of these games are. I guess people made their own homebrew games and they just, they put them on here. And a lot of these games too, at the time when they made Pandora's Box 6, they also had, when they made Pandora's Box 6, it was just mainly MAME arcade games. And on here, they actually have a lot of different, I guess kind of like Nintendo, Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis games on here. So you can see here, they have a lot of the games. They have a lot of games on here, but they have a good mix of there is arcade, but then there's also, like I said, these other Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Nintendo games on here. So there's a lot to go through. Not everything is an arcade game on here, and so that would be the difference between the Pandora Box 9D and the Pandora Box 6, where they do have the added console games on here. And they work just fine. They work fine. I haven't gone through every game to play on here because there is a lot of games on here. So to play every game is just not going to happen probably in this lifetime. So for that aspect, you will be able to, there should be games here for anybody in your family to play. One other thing is that this doesn't save games, so you cannot save your games on here. Sorry guys for the glare too as well. I'm sorry about that, but yeah, just trying to do this, trying to make this video guys for you and everything. So like I was saying, there's no save state, so you're kind of you're stuck. You gotta either leave it on, I guess, if you want to continue in a game, But yeah, there's no save states in this. So that's one possible downfall of this. And like I was saying, the button here, your on and off button, is actually the volume control. So let's try a game here. And it's kind of annoying with the volume of Try Marvel Superheroes. And now I'm playing this one-handed here, so you're gonna have to forgive me. As you can see, it looks nice. It's nice and loud, and then I'll do the volume here. So this thing, it can get really loud. I guess for this game, it's not too bad with the volume, I guess. Well, I guess I'm taking Spider-Man. But yeah, the volume control, there's not really any kind of like clicks or anything. It's just like you turn it and it just, you're just listening essentially. And if you're not careful, then you could probably turn your game off, or here you see Spider-Man playing one-handed here. Oh, was able to shoot. Not bad, Spidey. But as you can see, the gameplay is all right. I said if you're one of a video game connoisseur where you're worried about screen tearing and such, I don't really notice those things too much on here. I'm sure there is for some games, but I don't really notice that as too much, because I don't really remember what the arcade games were like anyways to an extent. I mean, I remember the gameplay of this Marvel Superheroes, but I don't remember like where things were slowing down, or where things were if there's screen tearing in a corner here of the screen and stuff like that. So I mean, for the most part, most of these games, they play well. They play very good. I can't really complain about any of the games here. And then, as you can see here, you could pause your game. And that's just by hitting the pause button here. And then after, if you don't want to play it, you just exit. I adjusted my buttons here in a Street Fighter. You could adjust the button commands, and so I put it in the Street Fighter configuration. So the B button for me would be mostly my command button. And then then you have you have a good list of fighting games. You have your the wrestling, the Street Fighters, Art of Fighting, World Heroes. So you're getting all the games pretty much that you have on the Pandora Box 6. And as well, like I said, I got this 2 years ago. So now they have newer ones that you could actually save the games on. I believe they're the Pandora Box DX and CX, I think it's called. So you could get them in this type of acrylic bar top, and you could have those systems save your game states, I believe. So I mean, for the most part, this is all right. And my daughter and I, we have a lot of fun. People, my brother-in-laws, they come and play this. They really like to play it. It's a cool little machine. You have pretty much over 2,400 games on here to play. So I mean, there's a lot of different games, different genres for people to play. Maybe I'll just show you guys what it looks like, with the lights off, so you can see what it looks like actually in a darker setting. So just give me a sec. Alright, so hopefully you could see the marquee a little bit lit up a little bit better. So you could see, it has different colors. It changes from a red to a green to a blue, I believe. And so it's really neat if you're playing this at nighttime. It has, because it has the nice lit up marquee and everything. So, and the build of this, of itself, I mean, it's an acrylic bar top. So it has a nice nice finish to it. It feels like it's a hard plastic essentially, right? The only little things, like if you look here, some things aren't like really finished about it. Like they didn't like take off some of this and make it finished. So you might be peeling at some things here. But I mean, this is minimal stuff here. Like I mean, it could be this here you're paying about. I paid. I think it was about close to $350, $400 for this machine off AliExpress, Canadian. So you pay that kind of money, and you want a nice finish to your machine. But I mean, it's not something that is a real I guess deal breaker for it though. And here is another problem here. So essentially, sometimes with this machine, sometimes it goes to this kind of like a lighter type screen. I don't know if you guys can see it or not, but sometimes if you're playing a game and then it for this the screen just fades out for some reason. So that's one of the problems I've had with my machine. Maybe that's a defect of sorts, but essentially if I just turn it off and then restart it again, then I'll go back to its regular brightness. So that's one defect about it. Another defect is the power cord, I would say. Not a defect, but something you have to be careful of is sometimes the cord connection, it could sometimes loosen if you're not careful. And also connection here, it's not a strong connection. I mean, if you moved it a good bit, it could come out the cords. They don't sit nicely, like they don't fit nicely into their slots. So that's another slight minor problem with it as well. But hopefully they fix it maybe with the newer systems. I'm not sure. But see, as you see, I reset the system, and here it is. It's showing in its normal color screen here. So that's something to be mindful of when purchasing this. And but I mean, for the most part, I've never had really any problems with this machine. It plays fine. It plays all the games nicely, and yeah, it's just a cool little thing. People, like I said, when people come over, they're like, "Wow, you have a little arcade machine, and it's cool to play. You get to play the 2 players and everything." So yeah, it's for the money that you pay. I mean, it's just depending, like, what are you comfortable paying? What are you comfortable spending your money on? So for something like this, you're getting 2,400 games. You're paying roughly about 300 games. Now you can hear it's. So here you see the volume for this one. So the volume is pretty loud. But again, it's hard to adjust the volume. You can see me. You can see me here, and it's not really getting lower. So I don't know. This depends probably on the game. So yeah, like I said, this is something like it depends what you're comfortable paying for. This is a lot cheaper than the arcade 1-up here in Canada. So, and you're getting more games than the arcade 1-up. So for those reasons, I mean, I would recommend it in that sense, that you're getting more for your money, more for your bang. So yeah, so I would say it's a good little system. Definitely worth getting, I think, for the money you pay. As well, they have this in acrylic bar top. That's what I got. It comes assembled. There's also a wooden version of this, where you have to build it yourself essentially. So there's a wooden version of this that you could put together yourself, and it's actually a little. I would think it's actually a little more. What's the word? Maybe nicer, I guess. A nicer finish. The wooden bar top of these. So it's just that you have to put it together yourself, but. From what I've seen, the instructions aren't too bad to put it together. So, and I think it might be a little cheaper than the acrylic bar top as well. So that's something to maybe consider if you're purchasing this. And like I said, I've had a lot of fun with this. There's sometimes I don't get a chance to play it a lot. So that's one thing. Like you go and purchase you go and purchase an arcade 1-up machine for like say $600, and you know, you has like maybe 3 games. I think the new Legacy editions have you know, maybe 12 games on it, you know, but for the most part, arcade 1-up, you're paying, you know, $600 essentially for 3 games, 4 games at most on your machine. And I mean, when you compare it to like the old arcades where you just, you know, they're over $1,000 for 1 game, more than that even, you know, for 1 game. I mean, you're getting your money's worth in a sense, but then, you know, how much are you really going to be able to play it? You know, so these are the questions you have to kind of ask yourself when purchasing these things. Like, how much time do you have for this? Is it just going to just sit in your basement as a showpiece, or are you going to be able to play it a lot, or, you know, depending on the games and whatnot. So for me, you know, to purchase this for like I said, about $350 to $400, and to get essentially, you know, 2,400 games on here is a pretty good deal, you know. So yeah, and like I said, there's versions now where you could actually save the games on here. So, you know, it's not like the true arcade games, you know, you put your quarter in and then boom, you're done. And, you know, you'd have to come back another day, or, you know, come back another time to continue, or, you know, unless you had the machine to yourself essentially, you know, but yeah, this is great. Lots of games, you know, like I said, all your fighting games, all your, side-scrolling action games, and, you know, the list goes on and on here. You have your, you know, your shooters, your sports games, your puzzle games. So yeah, I have nothing but good things to say. The controls feel really good. The buttons are all right. I'm sure, you know, people, you could if you unscrew these, you could put in your own buttons in here to make it feel, you know, a lot better experience, I guess, for the buttons. But I'm okay with what's here, the stock, I guess, for the system. So, but it is upgradable if you want to, you know, unscrew things here and, you know, replace buttons. And it actually comes with extra buttons too. So if any buttons are sticking, you could replace the buttons. It comes with extra buttons. Yeah. So I don't know. That's essentially here the, you know, Pandora's box, acrylic Bartop. And what you see on the one side, you're also seeing on the other side. Okay, so the first player has the choice of which games to play, but, you know, both screens share, both sides see the same thing. So again, really cool. It's a really cool system. I like it. My daughter and we play on it every now and then. She loves a lot of the games on here and stuff. And I do recommend. I give it a recommend. Like I said, there's just the minor things that you have to worry about possibly when purchasing this. But yeah, it's a good buy. I actually like this better than the arcade stick, even, I think, just because, or at least if you're in the arcade stick, I wouldn't get the wireless. If you watch my other video, I was kind of talking about that, just because of the, you know, the battery issues, and it's just maybe not practical in the long run. You know, essentially you want probably maybe the HDMI hookup. But this here, it's a cool little system. You know, the dual screen, both players get to play at the same time, and kind of that head-to-head kind of feel. So, and like I said, if you get a newer version, not the 9Ds, but if you get the CX or the DX or whatever, you could actually save the games. So, yeah, that's essentially it. If you guys have any questions or comments, or, you know, you want to know more about the system, you know, please leave me a comment. I'll try and answer you guys when best I can, and hopefully, yeah, we'll be able to do some more videos and be able to give some more reviews out there of some of the stuff I think that's cool out there. So anyways, hope you guys are doing well out there. You just stay safe, and hopefully I will do another video and see you guys soon.